talk about what void is, it's just creation. And you're part of that creation. And in that creation, you're discovering more of what you are. You know, what you're doing in your life, what you're bringing to life, what you're bringing to the world, what you're bringing to yourself. Right? But when you attach something to it and you say that this is what spirit is, you know, spirit is this, spirit is that, then you're losing the spirit of truly what you're trying to practice. And what you're practicing is a way. Spirit is an endless journey. Martial art truly is supposed to represent that journey. And you're supposed to take that journey and represent it the way that you would want to see the world be represented by you. Because you are your own universe. You're your own planet of discovery. Right? And how you use that is totally up to you. That's the vessel. And the more you attach to that, the more you're going to see where that power and everything I'm talking about generates. It's not about destroying something. It's about creating something within yourself. So if you lose the idea of all the dogma and everything that you attach and everything that you're looking for, and you stop trying to come up with some result as far as your travel, and you look at it as a journey of it's taking you somewhere, then all the science eventually will start to make some sense. See? And that's what you're practicing today. You're not just practicing this hidden power that we're talking about, or something that's mystical. You all possess it. And as I see you guys improving, you know, I see it all happening. And to me, that's what you're trying to discover. You know, what's within you and that journey. When death happens, you just continue the journey. And if you could come back and tell me about it, that'd be great.
I'm going after you.
You know? And there's a lot of stuff that could go there. I remember when my mom was dying, I'll say this real quickly, I remember I was talking her through her death. And it was probably, I can't even explain the emotions and the feelings that were going on there, but I can remember as she's dying, I'm thinking to myself, which is, you know, I'm just thinking that, gee, if there was if I was able to take a knife, and you heard me, and just plunge it into my heart and die at that point, just so she wouldn't have to go on that journey by herself. You know, just, you know, of course, you know, I knew that wasn't going to happen. But, you know, and I wasn't going to do that, even if there was a knife present. I'm going to go with you. It's just that I didn't want her to go through that journey alone. You know, I wanted to be there with her. I wanted to face whatever she had to face. And that, I know, is purely aesthetics. But the point is that it doesn't really work that way. You know, the journey you have to take is alone. Your self-discoveries are alone. And that's the enigma. I think people always want to have an answer. But true martial art, true self, is not about having an answer. It's about going on the journey. That's what it's called, a way. And you could take information, you could think of all this stuff, but if we take ego and we put it into spirit, then what are you actually doing with it? You know, like what changes could actually happen? If God wanted to change the world and there was a being, he'd take the sun, bring it to the earth, and everybody go, if you don't do what I tell you to do, I'm just going to dissolve the planet. And pulls away. Everybody's going to start to do what they want them to do. It's not what it's about. You know, if he says, okay, if you go out and you rape somebody, you go out and you do this, I'm going to change you to dust. And the guy goes out there, hey baby, and you change the dust. Eventually people start doing bad things. That's not what it's saying. You know, if you attach your egos to it, oh, I'm high, I can feel the presence of the Lord, or all that stuff, you lose what it's saying. You lose what it means because you're attaching something to it, right? You're losing it. You're giving yourself an answer, right? You're making something up. Spirit is about movement. It's about motion. It's not about ego. Do you help somebody because it makes you feel good that you help somebody? Yes. You know? Does that have anything to do with spirit? No, I want to see him do better. I want to help him out. But a lot of people attach, oh, because I'm this way or that way or this, that, and the other thing, that they feel this is spirit. No, that's just human nature. Humans kind of want to help other people. Some humans want to take other people. You know, it depends on where you're coming from. You know, that has nothing to do with spirit. Spirit is just a presence that exists within you that you have to become aware of. Just like the presence of a spirit in a tree, the presence of the spirit of the earth you're standing on, the presence of the person that's in front of you, the presence of the table, it's all there, you know? But it's just it's an idea of discovering the idea of what void is and what way is, not attaching something to it. You know? And that's the whole idea of what the martial art is supposed to represent. That even Christ throughout the Bible said that your body is the temple, your body is the church. It's everything that got attached to it that took it away. You know, it's all the human greed that comes involved with it, and the human having fears that have to come involved with it that lose it. This is about confronting your fear. So you're going to die. We're all going to die. It's how you face that death. If there's a big wall of water coming at you, and you know that you're going to die, you pull out your sword and you face it like a warrior. You know that this is the way it's going to, you become present in that moment. Then it's taken away from you. And to me, that's the whole problem you guys have. When you're standing here and you're doing them, you're not really present. You're focusing so much on everything else, all the noise that is in your head, that you don't become present in what you're doing. You don't truly bring yourself into it. You know? Understand that? So maybe spirit, you should start thinking about it a little bit differently. And you should start thinking about yourselves a little bit differently and where you're coming from. You know, how we all can help each other to learn and grow. That's really, to me, what the Church of God represents. You know, that's the enigma. So when you're doing this, that's the whole idea of what I feel spirit is. I can't explain it, and I don't attach it to anything. It just is what it is. It's just a word that we use, but I think it's void of anything that we can, you know, like put it in a church or put it in a building or put it in some crystal or put it in something. It doesn't mean that. It is. And what you're practicing and what everyone should be practicing is a way, not a solution, you know, not a point of saying this is how I believe and make it a fact. And use like religions. Basically, anybody with any intelligence knows that we use religions to create wars. You know, they're just a front to create something. You know, like this is what we do, this is what we do. But we blame it on religion. Religion may have nothing to do with it at all. Probably doesn't. It's all the politicians and all the politics and the greed and all the cloak and dagger stuff that has something to do with it. But we use religion as an excuse. Oh, they don't believe this way. We don't even know what we're fighting about. Well, the big guys know what we're fighting about. They want that oil. They want this. They want that. They want political power. All stuff. He was just telling me with that oil tanker thing that blew up. Right? That's just so stupid. Oh, this machine gave us the wrong readings, so let's get another machine so we get the readings that we want, and then we could sell it to them. And then, of course, we had all these problems, right? So it really comes underneath it. What you guys are practicing and what you're training in is self-individuality. And when you discover that self-individuality, it's how you decide to express it in the world that's going to make the difference. And especially when you're standing in front of somebody. And that's what it represents to me. That's what you guys are trying to practice. And you probably shouldn't put that up on YouTube because it would get in a lot of trouble, you know. But you could put it up on a code so the students can get it, right? Okay, guys, good class today?
Yeah.
Grow, learn, teach.